Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unlocking a completely different way to look at the world around you. We're going to break down the absolute core concepts from our source text all about the entrepreneur mindset. And I promise you, by the end of this, you'll likely see your daily challenges and exactly how to solve them in a whole new light. So let's just jump right in with a question that challenges a really common myth. Do you need a business to be an entrepreneur? Now, I know most of us would immediately just say, yes. We've been completely conditioned to think that unless you have a literal storefront, an LLC, or a physical product line, the word entrepreneur simply doesn't apply to you. But our source material completely shatters this assumption, and it points to a much broader and honestly a much more powerful reality. All right, Section 1, Defining the True Entrepreneur. To get started, our source lays out this classic textbook definition. It says an entrepreneur is someone who creates, organizes, and manages a business venture, taking on the risks involved to earn a profit and provide value. Do you notice what's front and center here? It's heavily tied to managing a literal business. It's all about structure, financial risk, and at the end of the day, earning a profit. And while providing value is definitely part of it, this traditional view puts the entity, the business venture itself, right in the spotlight. But what if we separate the person's attitude from that business entity? Which brings us to Section 2, the mindset demystified. Okay, notice how the focus totally shifts here? The entrepreneur mindset isn't about paperwork or profit margins. It is fundamentally a way of thinking. It's a mental framework that helps people identify opportunities, solve problems, take calculated risks, and create value. I like to think of it like a giant mental toolkit for life. Instead of just managing a company, you're actively solving everyday problems and seeking out ways to create value in literally whatever environment you find yourself in. And honestly, this brings us to the most empowering takeaway from the whole source text. This mindset is not limited to business owners. Absolutely anyone can develop it. It really doesn't matter what your current job title is, whether you're a student, an employee, a freelancer, whatever. This way of thinking is accessible to you right now. It's a skill you can cultivate, and, well, that starts with understanding its components. Let's break that down in Section 3, the 10 core characteristics. So here are the first 5 tools in this new toolkit. It kicks off with opportunity recognition, basically seeing roadblocks as chances to create solutions. And that flows right into creativity and innovation, where you are actively dreaming up better ways of doing things. Then we have calculated risk-taking, resilience, and finally, self-confidence. These 5 form the absolute foundation of an entrepreneurial thinker. You spot the gap, you dream up a fix, you trust yourself to try, and you just step out. Now, zooming in a bit on that, calculated risk-taking doesn't mean you're just being reckless, right? It's about taking informed risks after you've actually considered the possible outcomes. And look, when those outcomes don't go perfectly, because let's face it, sometimes they won't, that is exactly where resilience kicks in. Resilience is defined here as recovering from setbacks and learning from failures instead of giving up. The really crucial point is that failures aren't dead ends. To the entrepreneurial mind, they are literally just data points and lessons in disguise. All right, moving on to the second half of this toolkit, you'll see a massive shift towards action. There's initiative, taking charge without sitting around waiting for direction. There's adaptability, so you can adjust quickly to changes in your environment. Goal orientation, to keep you consistently working toward clear objectives. Continuous learning. And rounding out the top 10, persistence. These traits are intensely action-oriented. It's about moving forward, adjusting your sails when the wind changes, and never, ever waiting for someone else to give you permission to solve a problem. I actually want to hit pause on those last 2 for a second, because they are essentially the engine that keeps this whole mindset running. Continuous learning is all about actively seeking new knowledge and skills to improve your performance. You don't just rest on what you already know. Combine that with persistence, remaining committed despite obstacles and challenges. When you relentlessly seek new skills and refuse to quit when things get tough, well, you make yourself practically unstoppable in whatever goal you set. Moving right along, Section 4, why this mindset matters. You might be wondering, okay, so what does this actually do for me? On an individual level, adopting this mindset yields incredible dividends. As our source outlines, it encourages innovation and economic growth. For you personally, it helps you identify and seize opportunities that other people might just walk right past. And on top of that, it radically improves your problem-solving and decision-making skills. When you think like an entrepreneur, you analyze situations way more critically, and you make choices based on calculated outcomes rather than fear. But here's the really cool part. The benefits don't just stop with you. It starts with increasing your personal confidence and independence, sure, but it ripples out naturally from there.
This mindset creates employment opportunities and actually contributes to national development. When you're empowered to solve problems and create value, you inevitably end up lifting the people and the economy around you. It's a massive, sweeping impact born from just a simple shift in your personal perspective.
Which leads us nicely to Section 5, creating value every day.
Our source material by Ajay Samuel Oko basically hits the nail on the head and brings this all together perfectly. He states, in simple terms, an entrepreneurial mindset is the attitude and way of thinking that enables a person to identify opportunities, overcome challenges, and create value through innovation, initiative, and persistence. I mean, that encapsulates absolutely everything we've been talking about today. It's not about the business you own, it's entirely about the transformative attitude you choose to adopt.
So you now know the 10 core characteristics. You know that this mental toolkit is available to anyone, anywhere, at any time. So I'll leave you with this. What problem will your new mindset solve today? Don't wait for permission. Step out, look for the opportunity, and start creating value. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see how you apply this in your own life.